Humanity Chats, Women in STEM, Professor Elsie Effah Kaufmann. See, I'm always bopping my head to this sound. Welcome to Humanity Chats. My name is Margie Marge. I am your hostess with the mostest. We have an amazing guest today. I know I use the word amazing often, but this time around, I'm telling y'all, we have Professor Elsie Effah Kaufmann, who actually went to my alma mater. She was so brilliant back in the day. Oh my goodness. Our headmistress, Mrs. Joyce Esibe, used to say, Elsie Effah. I mean, I can hear Mrs. Esibe's voice in my ears right now. Let me tell you a little bit about Professor Elsie Effah Kaufmann. And during our conversation, if I say Sister Elsie, please forgive me, because at Ebri Girls, that's what we used to say, sister, to our seniors. Hold on. Yes, about Sister Elsie. Oh, see, I slipped right there. Oh, okay. Professor Elsie Effah Kaufmann is the founding head of the newly established Department of Orthotics and Prosthetics at the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Ghana. She is also an associate professor and founding head of the Department of Biomedical Engineering at the University of Ghana. Professor Effah Kaufmann began her education in Ghana, then proceeded on scholarship to the United World College of the Atlantic in Wales, where she obtained an international baccalaureate diploma in 1988. She's brilliant, right? Yes. We get to learn more. She went on to earn a Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Master of Science in Engineering, and PhD in Bioengineering, all from the University of Pennsylvania. She went to UPenn, y'all. Yes, after her graduate studies, she received her postdoctoral training at Rutgers University, serving also as founding director of the Cell Biology Laboratory at the New Jersey Center for Biomaterials, and thereafter joined the University of Ghana in 2001. Oh my goodness, Women's History Month, we are kicking it off with Dr. Elsie Effah Kaufmann. Professor Elsie Effah Kaufmann. She is in the green room. I am going to bring her up. This is Humanity Chats with Margie. If you're watching, drop this link with your network, WhatsApp, Facebook. Oh, to our podcast listeners, we are in over 780 cities now. You guys are amazing. You keep us going. And today we are going to be inspired, motivated, uplifted, all the affirming words, because Professor Elsie Effah Kaufmann is about to join us. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, wow, Marge.
Hello, Sister Elsie.
Hello, Margie.
It is so good to see you today.
Good to see you as well.
Welcome to Humanity Chat. You know, I left a chunk of your bio out. Now, viewers, listeners, if you want to learn more about Professor Effah Kaufmann, go to margiemarge.com, our blog. You would be able to read about her adventures, about the science and math quiz. About this woman is a trailblazer. Thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I guess at Humanity Chats, what we do for starters is we ask you to share 3 fun facts about yourself, something that we are not going to find on the internet. So before we get into the conversation, we would want to know those fun facts.
Oh dear, something that is not readily available. Is that so?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's see. First one is that I'm actually an introvert. People think I'm always on TV speaking to crowds, speaking to all kinds of people, and they think I like being in crowds. Actually, I don't. I do better when I have individuals I'm talking to. A conversation like this, I'm a lot better, I think. Yeah, so that's one thing. Second fun fact. Well, oh yes, my people think I am very boring. My family members think I'm so boring. I'm so boring. My sister, is full of fun and activities. Always the highlight of every event, and I'm usually very quiet watching everything, and so they think I'm boring. But I don't think I'm boring at all. I'm just being me.
Oh, Sister Elsie, let me interrupt you right here, because your sister Belinda, the
Yes.
fly girl, the fashionista, if we want to compare you guys, I think you will fall a little bit into the B category, because she is fire. She is so much fun. But I know you're not boring. You know all the signs. You know all the equations out there. How can you be boring?
Oh well. Yeah, so that is it. And can I find a third fun fact about myself? Well, I don't do a whole lot of activities, so I guess that's enough.
Well, that's a fun fact too. Professor Elsie Effah Kaufmann doesn't do a lot of activities. I'm thinking that you are underestimating yourself, because with everything that you have going on, your plate is full, and that is a ton
Oh
of
yeah.
activities that you are involved in.
Yeah,
We are
I was
so
thinking about action-packed activities, those kinds of things. So you will not find me on any sporting field. I am terrible at sports, but I'm an excellent spectator.
Well, we need excellent spectators like you. I am also an excellent spectator, but I will share a fun fact about my days at the Brie Girls when I was in Edinburgh House. You could tell from my cheeks that I am no athlete, but I decided that I was going to do the 100 by 4 for Edinburgh House. And so I was a participator in the sport, not a spectator back then. And as much as I was the last person, I was running and I was going, no motion. So I was being a spectator and I was still in the sport.
Oh dear, Maggie, I have a similar story. Of course, I wasn't cheering for myself. Barradale House, they thought I looked, athletic, so they put me. I think to run the 200 meters. They really regretted it. I came in dead last. Oh. That was the end. They never tried to put me on the field again after that.
The funny thing about Barradale House is, I don't know how they did the house system back in the day, but all those people were athletes. Like, a lot of people from Barradale were great athletes, and so you guys were winning. And then Edinburgh House, it looked like we were born for entertainment, because we would ace the entertainment night and all those other things. But when it came to running, we knew back then, I don't know about now, but back then we knew that we were not going to win. But goodness, we could see that Jama, and
Yes.
I would climb that monkey roots, and we will be conducting, and everybody on the lower court, we were just on fire. Well, this is
We
good.
need all types.
I know. It's good to reminisce. It's good to reminisce.
Yes.
So today we are talking about women in STEM to kick off Women's History Month. And, it's so amazing. It's such an honor to have you join us and to be able to share your story. I guess my first question is, how did you know that you were interested in science when you were young?
Well, it was mainly about experimentation. I was in a family where we were allowed to do a whole lot of things. And I'm very grateful to my parents for that. They allowed us to explore, to do all sorts of interesting things. And so I would go to school and learn these things, and I wanted to find out for myself. So I remember some of the earliest experiments that I did for myself, butterflies. So we learned about the life cycle of butterflies, how the butterfly starts from a larva and then goes through the process and becomes a butterfly. And I wanted to see this for myself. So I got a notebook, a notepad, and I would record, day one, this is what I observed, and so on. And that idea, the idea of experimentation, was very exciting for me. Of course, I was doing other subjects, and I loved my other subjects as well. I liked everything. And so how I became a science student really was because I was put into the science class. Every girls, you go all the way to Form 3, they have the exam and they sort you into the different classes. I was in the top class, so I became a science student, although I didn't mind because I could have done any of the other subjects as well.
Well, it looked like there was a plan all along. And to think that even as young as you were taking notes and you were journaling, that is amazing. Now, so were there any role models in your life that inspired you to keep going? After you were 13 years old, I'm assuming that you got into the sciences more at Form 3 with the old Ghanaian education system. So 13, 14 years old, how did you know that this was what you were going to keep doing?
Well, the expectations in Ghana. So if you're in the science class, you're supposed to be preparing to go to medical school. What else? And so I was very much on the same path, except that I did not lose my interest in the things that I was doing. So even when we were put in the different classes, I was still reading the textbooks for the art students, the business students, and classmates used to come to me with their questions, and I would read the book and help them to understand. So I still maintained my interest in the other subjects, but of course we were very busy, and so I had to focus more on the sciences. Yes, so role models, you asked about role models. At that time, it was Mrs. Esibe herself, our head mistress. To look at that woman and what she was doing, making such a big impact in the lives of all these girls. I didn't know how big that impact was until I graduated and came back. I went to school many years and then came back. That's when I really realized what she had actually done. But at the time, just the way she conducted herself, looking at her from a distance, because we were not most of us were afraid to approach her, but we still observed how she conducted herself and how she did her work, and that was a big inspiration to me. And then there was always my parents, always my father for different reasons and my mother for other reasons, but they guided me along. They were not scientists, but the way they did their things, the way they were raising us, and the opportunities they gave to the children in the house. My mother up till now is a role model to me, because although she has not gone as far as me in terms of educational background, there's no problem in this world that you can mention to her and she has no idea whatsoever. She always has something to say. She always has had experiences she can share. She's just a walking encyclopedia of life experiences. And so that inspires me a lot.
Oh my goodness, that is just so inspirational to hear you, praise your mother like that. And we are thankful for our mothers and for the examples that they set for us. And I'm pretty sure that your children are so thankful for you as well, because I know that your path is something that has inspired at least some of your children. Your daughter Maya, going all the way in all those competitions and being such an inspiration to her peers.
Oh, wow. I'm happy you mentioned Maya. Yes, Maya has done well. By the way, Maya was the only one who decided to do science in high school. I don't know. I don't know if I'm inspiring them as well, if this is the situation. But I think it's also the pressure on the children. People look at me and they expect so much out of the children, that my 3 children. And so each of them wants to go their own way. They want to live their own life. They don't want to be compared. And I understand them perfectly. And so, yes, I do my best. Children are a blessing. and I love my children. They are the best thing in my life. I would do anything for them. I hope they know that. And and um, and yes, it's difficult also because they don't come with a manual. You see, each of them is so different. Each of them has different interests at different points in their lives. They are going through different situations, and as a parent, I tell them my objective is to do the best I can with them, is to make myself progressively redundant in their lives. But then there's also a disclaimer that when they are completely independent, when I'm completely redundant, they will still choose to associate with me. So that's what I'm trying to do with them. So if I inspire them, I'm grateful for that opportunity. I am really honored to know such people. Uh, but I don't take it for granted. I don't take it for granted. Yes.
I like the progressively redundant part. I think I'm going to have to steal that for myself. Progressively redundant. Yes, yes.
Yes.
And you were saying that your kids, other than Maya, the other children did not take your path, but you are a scientist. Your mother is not, but she is a walking encyclopedia. So
Yeah.
they don't necessarily have to take your path.
No.
They can all be their own person and aspire to be the best version of themselves.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm actually grateful that you shared that, so that for those that are listening or watching, yes, we are big advocates of STEM. There is also STEAM, there's the arts, there are all these subjects, there are
Yeah.
technical institutions. Go be your best self.
Exactly, exactly. And the things I tell the parents and the young people who come to see me for career advising is that you cannot excel in something you are not passionate about. And so parents have to understand that these children, they come, like I said, they don't have a manual, so you don't quite know yet how they're going to turn out. And you have to trust them sometimes when they seem to have thought through something, when they seem to have a passion for something. Encourage them, because that's where they're going to excel. If you force them into a certain box, the likelihood of seeing excellence is is much reduced.
I hear you. I hear you. I could just imagine myself being a physician, and I don't know what kind of physician I would have been, man. That would have been a terrible, terrible choice. But back to the conversation, Sister Elsie. So now you've left Abri Girls and you are going on to sixth form, and you go to that school with that supportive team, Wesley Girls High School. And how do you decide to choose the science subjects that you will pursue? Because I know that sometimes people would rather go the math route or go the biology route. What did you do?
Okay, as I mentioned, my at that point, my worldview was you're a good science student, go and study the subjects that will get you into medical school. And so that's exactly what I did. I mean, I did the physics, chemistry, biology. And then, because I went to the United World College of the Atlantic and we were taking the International Baccalaureate, I had to have my subsidiary level subjects. So I took mathematics, French, and English literature. So those were my subjects. And that's how I proceeded with the choice of subjects, because I was still preparing for medical school. Well, luckily, these subjects also qualified me for other options, which I found out about later on when I went to university.
That's
the
great.
choice the choice of subjects in university was actually difficult, because when I decided I was going to the US, I was made to understand that most programs in the US, you don't go to medical school right away. You had to do pre-med. And I had not thought about what I wanted to do as pre-med. So it took me a while. I mean, I thank the career counseling office at the United World College of the Atlantic, who directed me to all kinds of brochures from different prospectors from different universities. And so I looked, and they also recommended the universities, and then they had me read up. And that's when I read about bioengineering. I had never heard of it. I didn't know what it was, but the description in that book that said application of science, mathematics, engineering to problems in healthcare, I thought immediately, oh, this is what you do if you want to go to medical school. So that's what I'm going for. And so I selected the subject without really knowing what it was.
Wow. Well, it turned out well. And so
It turned out really well.
yes, yes. So then you leave Wesley Girls and then you go
No,
to
I did not go to Wesley Girls, please. I never went to Wesley Girls.
You never went to Wesley Girls?
No, I left Ghana after O levels. After Wesley Girls, I left Ghana and went to the United World College of the Atlantic
Wow.
in Wales. Yes.
You know what? I don't know why I thought you went to Wesley Girls before you went to the because Wesley Girls has always supported you too. I
Yes.
several people from Wesley Girls lifting you up. So I assumed that you had some kind of experience there. Oh wow. So you're
No,
all ours.
Maggie.
Yes.
Yes. So I actually selected Wesley Girls for sixth form. You know,
Okay.
after the application process, you know, when you take the O levels, you are supposed to fill these forms for lower sixth.
Mm-hmm.
I selected Wesley Girls under the advice of my father, who said I should get a different experience. And I think I would have been selected as a Wesley Girls student for sixth form, but I had got the scholarship and I was outside Ghana by the time the decision came in. And
Oh,
so, yes, I do have some history with Wesley Girls, but I never went there. And I am a patron of one of their year groups. The 1999 year group is my team. So, yes, I
okay.
do have activities with Wesley Girls, but I never went to Wesley Girls.
Wow, that's good to know. It's like, when I was in undergrad, all my roommates went to Holy Child. And so I do activities with Holy Child. And some folks
Yes,
actually think that I went there, but I am 1 to 7 throughout Ebri Girls. So it's good for us to have these affiliations with their sister schools
yes,
and support each other. So that's
yes.
that's good to know. Okay,
Mhm,
so now you go to UPenn and
mhm.
you actually do your bachelor's, master's, and PhD there?
Yes, I did. I don't know. Why do you see it as a lack of imagination?
No, I don't. I don't. No, I don't. UPenn.
I kind of I like the University of Pennsylvania. I have to say that I do love the university. It's an excellent university, and especially for bioengineering, it's actually a pioneering department, you know, in the subject. And so I haven't gone there and seen what was happening there. I put down my roots very quickly. You know, even as an undergraduate student, my second year, that's when I started doing research in one of the bioengineering labs. I also did some research in material science and engineering. And so it felt comfortable. Yes, when it got to time for me to go to graduate school, I did apply elsewhere. I was admitted to Cambridge University, but I did not go. Because I decided that I would stay and continue the research I had started in biomaterials. Yes.
That,
So so I liked the program. I liked Philadelphia, and I was feeling very comfortable and happy there.
that's impressive. Once upon a time, I did live in Philly, and so I've been to the UPenn campus. And recently, I actually went
Beautiful.
on college tours and went to UPenn, bought some Quaker swag, and
Aha, there you go. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Wow, this is just wonderful. So a lot of us who come to school abroad, sometimes we end up staying. What made you want to go and give back in Ghana?
All right. So I left Ghana on a promise. You know, I told you I went out on scholarship to the United World College of the Atlantic. This is a group of schools, colleges, you know, pre-tertiary institutions that are dedicated to peace and international understanding. So they take young people from all around the world. The years I was there, we had about 68 countries represented. And I was the representative for Ghana for my year. And I remember the selection committee that selected me to go to this school. They talked to those, they selected three of us my year. And they talked to us and they said, well, you're going to represent Ghana at this amazing school. Your responsibility is to go, be a good ambassador, and then come home and make a difference. You know, I took that seriously because of my upbringing. I told you that my father is one of my, he was, when he was alive, he was one of my role models. He taught us very well, you know, if you give your word, you must live up to whatever it is that you say. If you say you're going to do something, you have to do it. And so I knew I would come back. And I was making plans. I kept thinking about, okay, so what is this amazing thing I was going to come? What am I bringing back to Ghana? And in the beginning, I had no idea what it was going to be. But I kept thinking about it, and I knew I would come back home. So it was when I realized that, okay, I had first done the bachelor's. At the end of the bachelor's, I didn't feel ready because nobody was doing bioengineering. There was nothing like bioengineering in Ghana. And I remember my father on the phone asking me, so this thing you are studying, if you come to Ghana, what will you do with it? So I didn't quite know what I was going to do with it at the time. And with the bachelor's, I didn't think I could do anything much with it. So I went on to do masters, and then I went to do the PhD. I needed to get as much knowledge as possible so that when I came back home, I would be credible, because I had decided at that point that I was the one that was going to bring bioengineering to Ghana. So, and so I went as far as I could. I did a postdoc. I did a postdoc for 3 good years. And at that point, I had learned all that I was going to learn, I felt like. And it was time to come home. And so that's why I came home. I left on a promise, and I had to keep my promise. And I also had, by that time, I also had something I could offer. And that's why I came back to offer it.
That is just so impressive. After living abroad all those years, and then you
Yes.
take your resources, back home, and you are part of the educational system. Now, tell me about your experience in Ghana.
Ghana has been interesting. I mean, yes, you are right. It's not easy to pick up yourself, family, everybody, and then just arrive in Ghana. If you are not determined to stay, you will run away. Because there are certain frustrations, but then I took them all as a challenge. I had an objective. When I have a project in my mind, it's very hard to deter me. And so I had decided that I was coming home, and it had to happen. So yes, it was not easy, and there were temptations at certain points, but it's been very rewarding. It's been very rewarding to see, to reflect back on what uh, Ghana was like, with my discipline especially, and to think of where we are now, the numbers of students that are now studying biomedical engineering, the different universities that are offering the program. And then my new program to orthotics and prosthetics, again, is the first one. And I can foresee a future where we are actually producing these professionals for our healthcare system. We need them. And so when I reflect, I have this strong sense of fulfillment. I feel that I've been able to do something, and I'm still working anyway. I'm not done. I'm still working. Yes. So it's been a good experience, difficult and frustrating at times, temptations to do other things, but I'm here. I'm still here, and I'm going strong. No regrets.
Well, I can imagine there will be temptations. With all your credentials as well, it doesn't matter anywhere in the world, they will be willing to embrace you and offer you, a lucrative position. And you, yes, and so, thank you for your sacrifice. Now, another thing that you've been doing in Ghana, which has inspired so many of our youth, is the science and math quiz. Please tell us, how did you even get involved with that?
I knew nothing about this program. By the way, the program has been running since 1993. And so when I returned to Ghana in 2001, it was still running. Just that because I don't watch TV, I don't watch much TV, I had no idea what it was. I had never seen this program. The first I heard of it was when my head of department, by the way, when I first came, there was no engineering at University of Ghana. So my department was the Department of Physics. I was the first female to be appointed full-time to that department. And so that was my home department. And when I got there, I had been working really hard. I had never seen so many students. At one point, my largest class size was 898. Or is it? Yes, 898 students. And so I was busy. Running, you can imagine running labs for such a large class. Every day you are in lab working, then teaching and doing. I was very active. I was working all the time. And, it had come to the attention of my head of department, Professor Dre Friye. I had to remember him. Yes. So Professor Dre Friye had noticed the way I work and the enthusiasm I had for teaching and the activities of the department. At the time, he was a consultant for physics on the program. And the quiz mistress at the time was about to leave for PhD. It was her last, that year, 2005, was her last year as quiz mistress because she had to go do her PhD. And so the team had been looking for a replacement for her. So I guess he saw how I conduct myself in the department, and he decided to recommend me to the team as a replacement for the quiz mistress. So the team approached me at the time. So he was the first to approach me. He told me there's this program and he's nominating me for it because he feels I can do an excellent job. And I said, well, I don't know anything about it. I need to see more. I need to hear more. So they contacted the quiz mistress to get me to watch some of the recordings. At the time, they were recording at Achimota School. So I remember driving there to watch her do a contest. I watched one contest live. And afterwards, I followed her to her room to get changed for the next contest and had a chat with her. So she asked me, so I've seen what happens on the show. Do I think I can do it? And I said, yeah, I think I can try. And that's how I was nominated and recruited to do it. Yes.
Wow.
So as I tell my students, there's nothing like a school for quiz mistresses or anything. There was no special training. Nobody trained me, nothing. It was just doing the best with what opportunity I had at the time that brought me to the attention of those who were looking for someone to do this. And it's been my responsibility. I take it as a responsibility, a personal responsibility. And it's one of my principles to improve every year. So I keep studying, I keep working hard. Every opportunity I get, I see as an opportunity to open a door to the next level. And so I don't take my opportunities lightly. And I will put in my best and do my best. I will work hard at whatever opportunity I get. And that's what I've been doing. And that's what I tell my students. If you take care of the little you are given well and you do it well, it opens doors for bigger opportunities. So that's what my life has been like.
Well, opening doors for bigger opportunities.
Yes.
Look at the doors that you have opened for all these young people. You are a trailblazer. You are the first in so many things in Ghana, in the tertiary institutions. I mean, it is such a blessing to have people like you to look up to. And I am so proud that you are an alumni of my alma mater. And we can say that, yes, every girl's Bipol Sohan. Hello, Sister Elsie. I think you froze. Oh, you're back.
Oh, hello.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you. For a minute, I was losing you. Viewers, listeners, Professor Elsie Effah Kaufmann is in Ghana, and I'm in the USA as we are having this conversation. Sometimes we have technical difficulties, but we're making everything work. For those that are watching, you see her bubbly personality, her beautiful smile, her sense of humor. Yes, and she is true. She is authentic. Be inspired. If you're young and you're watching this, be inspired. Know that you can be your best self. That's the advice that Dr. Elsie Effah Kaufmann has for you. Saying the whole name is kind of like a mouthful.
Oh, sorry about that. Elsie will do.
No, it's just like every time I'm about to say the name, I think Sister Elsie, and it's just about to roll off my tongue. So now, you have done all this, inspired all these people to family life. You have kids, you have a full-time job, you have extracurricular activities that you're doing. How do you manage all these things? Advice for the ones that are coming up and for the mamas that are struggling like me.
Okay. So it's not easy at all, especially when children are younger. Oh my goodness. That was the hardest time of my life, having very young children and still trying to do all these activities. So you have to be really organized. You have to be really organized. If you don't have time management skills, please make an effort to learn those skills. You need them. And you need to prioritize. You have to prioritize. It's not everything that you can do. And don't feel so badly if you can't do everything. And one key thing that has kept me where I am is that I don't say no to help. I realize very much my humanity, my limitations. And if I can get help to do some of the things that I can delegate, oh, trust me, I'll take that opportunity anytime. So yes, there's a need to have a support system, family. And again, I thank my mom. When my children were born, I had actually negotiated with her for her to come to the US, the first two, to come help me. She was the one that wanted grandchildren so badly. So we had to negotiate for her. So I needed her help to be able to survive those days. Later on, and also, talking about time management and planning and all that, both of my girls were born in December. Why, you would ask? Because around that time, at least you get Christmas break. So plan and make sure whatever is in your power to do, have the purpose ahead of you, make your plans, prioritize, do the things that you must do, get help for the things that you can delegate, please. Otherwise, you may not be able to keep alive to even continue the activities. So take care of yourself and make sure that you can last the distance.
Wow. Take care of yourself and make sure you can last the distance. And Sister Elsie is also telling us your support system is important. And so don't hesitate to reach out to your support system. Even when they think you're boring, still reach out to them. Yes. Okay, Belinda, if you're watching, it looks like we're taking a dig at you right now. Yes. Oh, wow. We've exceeded our time, but this has been so well worth it. Learning about your life, your journey, it's amazing. Now, what we're going to do as we get ready to wrap up is, what would be the 5 key things, advice that you would have for the upcoming youth and for those that are pursuing a career in STEM? 5 key things.
All right. I've already given some of those pieces of advice. First thing is that you need to have an objective, a goal ahead of you. Because when you are working to a goal, it's easier to make decisions when you are confronted with multiple options and multiple opportunities. It also focuses you so that you know what you are doing and why you are doing it. So that's point number 1. You need something that you are looking forward to achieving. Decide on where your impact is going to be and have that in mind as you make your life decisions. The second one is that nothing good comes easy. At least that's from the experiences I have had. If you want something, you need to work at it. You need to be diligent, you need to be committed, and you need to be persistent. So you work hard at whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Don't give up so easily. If you've decided, third one, if you've decided to study STEM, you have made a good choice. And the reason why I say that is that you have become very versatile. You can move into various career opportunities with the STEM background. And so it's good that you have decided to do that. But like I said, my point number 2, you need to work really hard. Sometimes the concepts are not easy to grasp at first go. You need to be persistent again, and you need to keep at it so that you can perfect what you're doing and actually start to enjoy it. Third point. No, that was my third point, wasn't it? So fourth point is this. The fourth point is you need to have a support system, okay? Sometimes the support system is there to direct you. These are people that can speak into your life and give you advice to help you make progress. It's not necessary to make all the mistakes yourself. You can learn from others. So by this, I'm talking about mentorship. So look out for people who understand you, people who want the best for you and who can speak into your life. Learn from them, ask advice, don't make all the mistakes yourself. So that is my point number 4. And then the point number 5 is that hang in there. There are people who are supporting you. Hang in there, do your very best, be persistent in what you're doing, and take care of yourself. If you need help, look for help, look for that support, and don't struggle alone when you can get the help that you need.
Wow, these are good points. Don't struggle alone when you can get the help that you need. find that support system. You need that mentor. Be persistent and work hard. This has just been amazing. We have been blessed by having you join us. Viewers, listeners, this has been Humanity Chats with Margie. If you're not subscribing, go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube or, subscribe to that podcast. I have to give that spiel. Don't forget to leave that review also on the podcast. Thank you for keeping us going, for making us for helping us make an impact in a small way in this big world that we live in. Dr. Elsie Effah Kaufmann has been nothing but amazing today. It's unbelievable that she traces her history back to when she was a little girl and how she was journaling and observing around her. So if you're a little girl, don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams and your goals. Don't give up on your aspirations. Write them down. Be yourself and continue to aspire to be the best you. This has been Humanity Chats with Margie. We will be coming to you during Women's History Month with amazing programming. You will get to meet women in ministry, women in the arts, journalists, and most of all, International Women's Day, March 8th, we are going to have this Be Her Champion panel where we would have women talk to us about how we can break the bias in the workplace and within our community. So register, go on Eventbrite, go on margiemarch.com, register for Be Her Champion, because together we are stronger. Together we can go far. This has been Dr. Elsie Effah Kaufmann and Margie March coming to your screens with a lot of love. We will see you in the near future. Thank you all.